Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Altitude Sickness Podcast. This is episode 31. I am Tony, and today I'm being joined by Matthew and Drew. First time that we've had all three of us back for in a while. I think it's been at least 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. So, good to have everyone back. How are we doing?
Excited to be here.
Yep, there we go.
Except for my computer won't work, so you don't see my face today.
Yeah,
But
today we don't have face cam for Drew. Just technical issues. But it's all good. We roll on. We roll on. Matthew, you doing good?
Yep, happy to be here.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Sadly, because there's no camera, luckily I still have my hat on, so you could see the glorious hat that Drew gave me. You'll see later, Drew went to one of the games that the Rockies had at home in Coors Field, and he was able to get one of these hats for himself, and then got me one as well. So, cool stuff, cool stuff. But we have to first start. Sadly, we have to first start with the first series, which was just not fun. Rockies go in, and it was a weird 2-game series, just an odd one with the Padres in San Diego, and the Rockies unfortunately just get swept as they have really just done a lot. The past 2 years, they have just really struggled to play San Diego, especially in San Diego, and this was no different. First game, Lorenzen, not good. And the bullpen was even worse. Just could not string together outs easily against an offense that's not very good, mind you. San Diego does not have a good offense right now. But Castro and Moniak both had home runs at least, so that was fun. Tovar had probably one of his better games in a while with 2 RBIs and a double, but they lose on a walk-off sac fly. I believe that's the third walk-off that they've lost to against San Diego this year, which is just really unfortunate, but it is what it is. You're going to lose those close games if your bullpen's not good. And unfortunately for the Rockies, the bullpen was just not there this week. So, and then the second game was the opposite. The offense was popping off in the first one. Offense went dead quiet in the second game. Hughes was fine, allowing 3 runs over either 4 or 5 innings. So he was fine, but not much. Bernardino and Agnos held down the fort, so of course the bullpen does amazing on the game that the Rockies can't score anything other than a Brett Sullivan RBI double. There was no offense to be seen. And the Rockies lose in a pretty forgettable 3-1 loss on the getaway day. But it is what it is, not really much to say about this series. Do you have anything to say, Matthew or Drew, on the Padres series?
No.
Nope, pretty forgettable.
I guess the only thing of note is that the Rockies went 0-6, correct, in San Diego this year.
Yeah.
So, not what you want to do against a division rival. You got to win at least one, you'd think, but it is what it is. It's how it goes. But this is the series that I think all the folks are talking about right now, and where the Rockies host the Royals. And you'll get to hear us hype up about this. But Drew, you wanna take it away for the first game because you were there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They just got swept by the fucking Rockies.
Thank you, Frank. But the first game, very interesting day. It was hot. Unfortunately, it was probably the least entertaining game to attend, but that's okay because the Rockies still won. After the game was delayed for an hour because there was a lot of rain and a lot of hail. I'm just glad it was just an hour. So it started at 7:40 Mountain Time, which is what I'm used to anyway. So I was fine with it. But the Rockies won 3-1, and Brenton Doyle made a return after a misplay in the outfield early on. Which I believe led the Royals to score, which I was not very happy with Doyle at that point. But then he came up and hit a huge, I think it was an RBI double, right?
Yep, it was.
And it was a stretch double. So like a tip of your average runner that's just a single. So it's good to see his speed back on the base paths. We'll talk about Doyle later, but it was I would say it was a great ending to his time in Colorado. That gave us a glimpse of what we saw from him 2 years ago, and so that was just a good farewell. But Sugano just did his thing like he always does. all the pitching was great in this series. There was, and it could have gotten away from them, but what I've learned from pretty much everybody pitching in this series is that their command was on.
Mm-hmm.
And you can lose to bad teams if you're walking guys, but everyone went 6+, so it was great. But Sugano just did his thing again, and of course, his only earned run was a solo home run, which I anticipated from. It was going to be either Jack or Carter Jensen, which, of course, neither of them hit it that day. I don't think.
I believe it was Carter Jensen.
Was it Carter?
I believe it was
Yeah.
Carter Jensen that hit
Yeah,
that.
it was.
I figured it was going to be a lefty just because that's kind of just makes sense. But it was a fun game. It was a good win. The bullpen didn't blow it. It was just the team showed a lot of grit in this game. So,
Yep.
woo.
I agree. Yep. Sorry that you had to go to the one game that gets weirdly rained and delayed, and
Yeah.
the weather was crazy. But at least you got to see a Rockies win. That's what matters, is that the Rockies ended up winning.
In my in-person attendance in Coors, the Rockies are 3-1 against the Royals.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. But in the second game, like you were mentioning, the starting pitching was pretty solid in this. I would say pretty good. Feltner was the one exception, and even then, I think with what he did, he allowed 4 earned runs, and I believe 3 of them were pretty early. And I was scared that it was going to be a 3-run. It was like a 3-run first inning or something, and I think it was 4 runs after 2 innings. And I was like, it's going to be one of these. He's going to be out by the 3rd inning, and it's going to be over before the game even starts. But then he really hunkered down and gutted out the rest of the game, or the rest of his 6 innings that he ended up pitching. Which, the fact that, like, if you told me that Feltner allowed 4 earned runs in the first 2 innings, I would have told you there's no way he would be pitching through 6. And the fact that he did that, like, it makes me happy because he's had a really rough go of it this year, I think. And I think I'm glad that he was able to gut out something like that, especially at Coors Field. So that was really good to see. And then, honestly, what really helped, I think, energize and keep him going was the offensive just onslaught that was provided. They burst out into 16 hits with 12 runs. I mean, Goodman had another 2 home run game. He had 4 hits with those 2 home runs and 5 RBI. TJ Rumfield had 3 hits. 3 hits and 3 RBI. Geez, I'm sorry. I just lost all train of thought there. Castro joined in with a home run and an RBI. Kyle Karros had 2 hits with a double and 2 RBI. And a weird note is Cole Carrick had 3 walks in this game too. Which, that's not very flashy, but it's just one of those fun notes. It's pretty rare that you get 3 walks in a game. So, and the Rockies just win and end up blowout. It was a little closer in the end. It ended up being 12-6, but going into the 9th, it was 12-4, and they were kind of, unfortunately, the one, if you could name one negative in this game, it's Jimmy Herget again. He just continues to just really not be good, and it really stinks because we're a pro Herget pod, but he just has not been the same guy as he was last year, sadly, and that's just how it goes. So, but it is what it is. Rockies get the win, and then the Rockies go for the sweep in that last game. And I mean, I'm gonna say it was very, very shocking to see what happened on that Sunday, on that fateful Sunday day game. Kyle Freeland, in his 251st career Major League start, throws his first career complete game against the Royals, where he went 9 innings, allowing 5 hits with only 1 earned run. He had 8 strikeouts with 2 walks. And I mean, he at one point going from the 3rd inning to the 9th inning, I believe, he set down 18 in a row, which is just insane to think about. And then on top of that, McCarthy had a big day. He had a home run with 3 RBI. Brett Sullivan had 2 doubles with 2 RBI, and then Cole Carrig had 3 hits with a double and an RBI as well. As the Rockies complete the sweep of the Royals, and it was so honestly awesome to see Kyle Freeland get that complete game, because that's like the one thing that really stunk about his 2017 year was he had, in his rookie year, he had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning against the White Sox, and it got broken in that 9th inning, and that really stunk. But I'm just really glad that he was honestly able to get a complete game. And a lot of people were thinking, we'll talk about it in a minute with trades and stuff, with the trade deadline happening earlier today. A lot of people were like, oh, could that have been his last start as a Rocky? And if he was traded, there is no better way he could have gone out. So, but as we'll see, that did not come to fruition. But all in all, this was a great series played by the Rockies. Starting pitching was very good. Again, that's 6 earned runs, but over, what is that, over 21 and 2/3 innings. And Sugano was so close to getting through 7 as well. He just kind of started allowing too many hits in that 7th inning. But that's just absolutely insane. And again, this kind of just shows you, this Rockies offense it's a legit offense. And this is not even a fully built with the prospects that we have and stuff. The way that DePodesta and Josh Burns have built the roster with the Moniak and the McCarthys and everyone like that, with these role player guys that do their thing. The offense is legit, especially at Coors Field. And so if you get solid, you don't even need good. You need solid pitching performances that they can be a 500 to above 500 team. Mm-hmm. But this year it's just been a matter of the starting pitching has been very, very bad. And the bullpen has also been really bad. But when those things click, good things happen, and that happened this series, and it was really, really good to see. So I'm really happy for that.
Funny enough, when Schaefer was still the interim manager last year, Kyle Freeland did have an opportunity for a complete game, and he got yanked.
Yeah.
And then in the post-game conference, Warren Schaefer said, I'm never doing that again. Yeah. And so it's nice to see that Kyle actually got it done. Obviously, this is the first complete game by a pitcher that I've seen as a Rockies fan, so that was really cool.
It's the first complete game that the Rockies have thrown since 2022, I believe. Matthew, trivia question, do you know who it was?
Do I know who it was?
Yeah, do you know who threw the last complete game by a Rocky? Because Drew's not going to know because he was not a Rockies fan.
Was it? So then it wasn't Herman.
No.
Oh gosh.
It's a weird one. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I can't think of it now.
It was none other than Chad Kuhl against the Dodgers. That's who threw the last complete game by a Rocky. Oh my goodness.
Some news. Yeah.
I was gonna say I just saw breaking news. Pretty good breaking news.
Is he up?
No. It's not that. It's not that news. Matthew, cool. Do you wanna say it?
Yeah, really sure. Quick? Mickey Moniak just signed a 2-year extension with the Colorado Rockies.
Bang.
Mickey!
That's honestly, you know what? I think that's where I was at. That's where I'm at with That's where I'm at with Hunter Goodman. Sorry, we're just jumping off. Good series for the Rockies against the Royals. Good stuff. But yeah, breaking news. That's where I was at with a lot of the trades. This slides right pretty nicely into the trade deadline talk, which we can just go straight into. Does anyone else have anything really quick on that Royal series? Thing.
Someone who we have not mentioned is none other than the official closer of the Colorado Rockies, Jordan Romano.
Yeah, very weird.
He's officially a closer because he actually had his own walkout.
Yep, he did.
When they shut off the lights when he came in on Friday, I was like, what? What are they doing? And then I see Jordan Romano trot out from the bullpen. I was that's awesome.
Crazy, because I'm looking at his stats right now. In 7 2/3 innings, that's 8 games for him. He has a 1.17 ERA, bro. He's only allowed 1 run. He has 10 strikeouts in those 7 innings. Like he has been really good for the Rockies.
Yeah.
It's
And
honestly hilarious.
Yeah, and he is the saves leader in two different teams.
Yep.
Which he hasn't been on the Rockies very long, and he got up there pretty quick.
Yeah.
And especially with the move of Vodnik, that
Yep.
solidified
he's
Jordan Romano is a part of D plan.
Yep. I agree. So good stuff for Jordan Romano and the Rockies. Good stuff on the Rockies to go get him. I mean, like they did not really have. Yeah, they did not really have a closer, obviously, because no one was filling the role correctly, and so they got their guy, and he's been pretty good for them. He's been very, very good for them. So good for that. That's really good stuff to see. But other than that, I think I don't have anything else on that series. So we could just slide now. Let's just slide into the trade talk stuff. So yeah, as of the recording of this video, the pod, we are on the day of the trade deadline. It happened at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time here. And I'm not going to give trade grades. I'm not going to do that because it's impossible to know on the first day any of that stuff. What I will say, though, is that I think it is fair to say that this was a disappointing trade deadline. I think a lot of fans were expecting more to be done. I kind of expected more outfielders to be traded, considering we have so many. But it is what it is. The outfielder that we did trade, I was kind of shocked. I didn't think he would be the one, if there would be one to be traded. But it is what it is. We'll get into it. So first up on the talking on the trade stuff, Brenton Doyle. I love him. We all love him, but he was sent to the Chicago White Sox, and the Rockies get back right-handed pitcher Mason Adams and infielder Carlos Vielma. So an interesting swap, I think. I do believe that this is a change of scenery thing for Doyle. He just was not going to get playing time here. With Cole Carrig coming up after he got hurt and Cole Carrig playing as well as he does, I don't think that there was room for Doyle anymore. And then the fact that 2 of our next big prospects that are going to be coming up to the team this year are going to be outfielders. There just isn't room for Doyle, sadly. And so I don't mind that this is the move that they make, because, you got to make room. I would have liked to see more moves with this, but it is what it is. So to go into what they got for him. So Adams, AAA, he's at the AAA level. He has a 3.86 ERA this year with 48 strikeouts in 49 innings pitched, so he's not a huge strikeout guy. But I believe what they like about him is that he has a lot of pitches. He throws a lot of pitches. He has a deep arsenal. And I think he gets solid extension as well. So could be something. They like his fastball too. So that's nice. And then Vielma is honestly a flyer. That's very much just a flyer take. This kid is 16 years old in the Dominican Summer League. So he is not going to be obviously sniffing the Rockies anytime soon. But with that said, I mean, he's hitting 337 with a 507 on base percentage with 6 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run and 21 RBI in 34 games for the DSL White Sox. So he plays pretty well. He has a crazy eye from what I saw. He has a very, very good eye. And so that's what the Rockies have been looking for what they've wanted out of hitters recently, is they want guys that can have good eyes. So good for them to get this guy. It is really sad that Doyle's gone because I really like Doyle, but I just think it wasn't going to work here, and so hopefully a change of scenery can help him get back to his 2023 days of being, or 2024 days of being good. So hopefully he can get back to that. But I wish him well. I don't know. Does anyone have anything on that?
No, I mean all the trades are. It's funny what the Rockies are getting back. It's literally the same trade, pretty much
Yeah.
copy and paste.
It's
with a triple A pitcher that has done. They all have similar stats, and then just an infielder that's just kind of a filler.
Yeah.
So that's really that's the only feedback I really have about the entire trade deadline. So
yeah,
I have nothing further than that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll fly through these because they really are. What? Sorry, Matthew, I interrupted you.
No, I don't have a ton either. Like you are. I'm sad to see Brenton go. I was year and a half ago. I was really excited. I was really excited about him. Really happy to have him here. So
yeah,
I hope that he does better for the White Sox.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think a lot of us were scared that his defense wasn't going to be replaced. And I'm not saying that anyone like Carrick now has replaced it, but I think we were scared that we were not going to get anything close.
Yeah.
And so when Doyle was hurt and Carrick came up and started, playing really well, even defensively, I think it kind of softened the blow for me at least. Because since the beginning of last year, it's been kind of, it hasn't been great. And so it kind of softened the blow to know that we have good defenders in the outfield. So we won't suffer that much with him gone.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that. I think the fact that they have Cole Carrig, I think, is why they made this move. So, but yeah, pretty simple. So that was the first trade of the day. Second up was honestly the most obvious trade. Was Antonio Senzatella going to the Brewers. Now, I didn't think he was going to go to the Brewers. I honestly thought he might go to the White Sox. Either the White Sox or Cubs, but going to the Brewers is interesting. The Rockies get back left-handed pitcher Mark Manfredi and infielder Juan Martinez. And so these two guys, again, Manfredi with 4-2 with 5 saves, so this guy's a reliever. With a 3.35 ERA. I'm trying to see. I'm reading off of the press release from the Rockies. He's got 30 strikeouts. Let's see here with AAA. Geez, it's really hard to read through this. Oh my goodness. Oh, so he was at the major league level? I don't even know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know, but he's pretty solid. Just another guy. I mean, what's good about him is that he's a lefty. Rockies don't have lefties at all. So, good stuff getting a lefty. And then Martinez hit 307 in the ACL, the Arizona Complex League. So, again, a few pretty young guys that they're getting in terms of infield depth. And I think they're just taking flyers and seeing what'll stick. These guys are not really huge, they're not the big money prospects, but they weren't going to get that with Senzatella, whose stuff clearly was starting to go down as the year was going on. But yeah, I really do think that this was that was the trade that needed to happen. I think of everyone was the Senzatella trade because I think he was the most obvious. And then the last one that the Rockies made right at the buzzer, honestly, right in the buzzer, was Victor Vodnik to the Marlins. This one was honestly kind of shocking. I was not expecting Vodnik to go because I didn't realize. I remember hearing, I forgot what it was, but there was some team, announcers for some team a few months ago that they mentioned be sure to watch if the Rockies move this guy. And I remember being yeah, no, there's no shot. And who would have guessed that Victor Vodnik would be traded? And the Rockies get back infielder Connor Norby and right-handed pitcher Aiden May. So Connor Norby is someone that I've heard of a while, and I've liked a bit. His biggest issue, so he's played a decent amount with the big league club, and his biggest problem has been strikeouts. He's just been striking out a lot. He was actually a big ticket name in the Baltimore trade a few years ago. It was Baltimore traded some big name prospects with the Marlins, and Norby was the big guy out of that. And so hopefully, again, maybe change of scenery can help work it out. I don't know where he's going to fit in. I don't know if he's going to... I think he's starting out in AAA. Honestly, I don't know if he's going to be on the Major League squad. So, but we'll see. Because I don't think he's there for the game tonight. I don't believe he's on the roster. They also have to travel there, so I don't know how that's impacting stuff. But we'll see. And then...
Huh? He hasn't played since June.
Oh, then he might be injured. Either injured or if he may be in AAA. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. And then Aiden May, 23 years old, pitched to a 3.8 ERA in high A. So this was kind of the opposite. We have a higher ranked infield prospect with a pitcher that's a little bit lower. But even then, he's in high A. Pretty solid, but he'll be... again, he seems to just be a depth guy. He is a starter, so that's good. You like to see that, but we'll see what happens. It's like I said, it is kind of a little bit of a bummer with the trade deadline, because I really wanted to see either Moniak or McCarthy traded. But I do have a note from Paul DePodesta, the president of baseball operations for the Rockies. I have a note of what he said about the trade deadline regarding those three players. Well, about those two players and then Hunter Goodman. He pretty much said that they were never really close on a deal for any of the three. And he says that their front office sees those three as players to build around. So take that for what you will. I know that some Rockies fans are probably not happy to hear that, because they don't want this front office to just be the same type of front office as in the past. But I think the difference between these guys is that there is more supplementing them now. There's more supplementing those three players. Whereas before, there really was nobody supplementing them. Like right now, you've got the Kyle Karoses and the Cole Carriggs and the Troy Johnstons. You've got these few guys that are still helping them out. Because like I said, I mean, this offense is a solid offense. They do need maybe a little more power, but it's a solid offense, especially for what you want at Coors Field. And so we'll just have to see how that works out. And then again, with that news from Moniak, I mean, he's extended for 2 more years after this year. So, which that's not official. It says that they will sign it tomorrow. Probably the signing will be expected tomorrow. But I mean, that kind of proves that they weren't close and they didn't really feel that they needed to move these guys. Now, do I wish that they were a little more clear about that at the beginning? Maybe. Yeah, but also you don't want to show your hand that early, to other teams, because then you lose all your leverage in any trade talk that you might have. So who knows? But it is what it is, really. Not a huge deal. But what it does do now, as we segue into our next section, it does mean that now you have quite a few outfielders on your roster, and I mean, I think the plan still has to be for Condon and Veen to have a chance this year to play at the major league level. And so with that, you've got to start making some moves to clear that 40-man roster. And I've chosen a few players that I think are probably the biggest candidates to get outed off the 40-man just because. So number one, I think, is it's a little obvious and kind of boring. It's Chad Stevens. Again, this dude rakes at AAA, but then he comes up to the major league squad and he was the worst player on the team. He could not hit at all. And so it's just interesting. And I'm honestly kind of shocked he's still on the team, but I think it's just because you want to have an infield backup just in case someone gets hurt. That's why you have those AAA players. But he's probably number one, especially with the inclusion now of Connor Norby. You could probably, I think it's pretty likely that Chad Stevens would get the boot pretty soon if they want to make a move. Next up is, this is something that I've kind of been, I don't understand the point. They finally, we'll talk about roster moves in a second. It's between Braxton Fulford and Brett Sullivan. I do not understand the thought process of having 3 catchers on your major league roster. And don't give me and I don't like they can play different positions. Braxton Fulford playing 1 inning in left field is not him playing multiple positions. And then on top of that, he has not played almost at all since coming up. And when he has been really bad. So I'm just like, I think you either need to send him down, which they did do, or you need to cut one of them. And I think the one you cut is going to be Brett Sullivan, because I think, yes, he's got the lefty bat, but also he's not the best defensively. And in all fairness, neither is Braxton Fulford. They're both pretty mid defensively at best. Braxton Fulford's like actively bad. But I think just because it's an expiring contract and Fulford has more years of control, I think one of them absolutely should go soon. Like, I'm talking middle of August. If you're trying to call up Zach Veen or Charlie Condon, one of them needs to go pretty soon, because having 3 catchers on the major league roster just makes no sense. And then the next 2, these are the more controversial ones, I think, but I do believe that of the 2, I do think one needs to go, and I think there's a more obvious one, and it may not be the one you're thinking. It's between Tyler Freeman and Troy Johnston. So Troy Johnston, when he first came out, was like awesome. It was super fun to watch him play. He's got this like life. He's a really funny guy. Unfortunately, they both kind of suffer from the same thing, where they're both, as I've heard the term gone around, they're an empty batting average. So, and what that means pretty much is that they don't hit for power. Now, for a while, Troy Johnston was up in the top of the league for doubles hit, because he was hitting a lot of doubles. But he does not hit home runs. Almost at all. And his production has slowly gone down. He still has a solid enough 739 OPS, but his issue also comes with the fact that he is not good defensively. And the other guy, Tyler Freeman, is the same thing, but even worse. He has even less power than Troy Johnston does. He has a worse OPS right now at a 642. And on top of the fact, he does not play good defense at all in any of the positions that he plays. So, my thing also, like thinking about it in this way, is you have someone already that does exactly what Tyler Freeman does in terms of defensive versatility and a solid bat. And that's Willie Castro. Like, you already have Willie Castro doing that. Now, granted, Willie Castro feels more like a starter, where Tyler Freeman feels more like a role player. But as these prospects come up, that's where Willie Castro will fall into. He will fall into that role player position, and he'll play wherever you need for that day if you need him. And I think that renders Tyler Freeman expendable on this roster. So, in my opinion, I think that Tyler Freeman probably should get cut at some point, because I just don't know if he has a spot much much later,
I agree.
I don't know if he has the spot.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point of having him. He's just holding out for Zach Veen or whatever, and I'd rather have I'd rather have Veen or Condon up.
Yeah.
Than I don't. Yeah, he's just kind of not really.
Yeah, he was very useful last year when the Rockies had a lot of infielders hurt. They had a lot of people hurt,
Yeah.
and they just needed a guy to fill those gaps.
Mhm.
And he
Well,
also was
we
hitting
needed-
for average, but we don't need that anymore.
Exactly. We needed a guy that was hitting for average because we just didn't have anything. But now we actually kind of have somewhat of an offense, and his offense is just not up to par compared to what we have now. So
Yeah. And another player that I suppose I can add on to this maybe a little bit is Edouard Julien. But I think the difference with Edouard Julien between him and Tyler Freeman is the fact that he has shown that his on-base skills in terms of walking are definitely better. His problem is that he has not a great batting average, but he walks way more because Tyler Freeman does not walk. For someone that doesn't strike out a lot, he also does not walk almost at all. Whereas Julien strikes out a solid amount, but also does walk. So it's like the weird, back and forth thing. And then also he's a lefty. I mean, you got to take that into consideration. He's a left-handed hitter, whereas Tyler Freeman's a righty. And I think there in certain ways you're going to value the lefty over the righty. So it's just one of those. This is just that time. It's that the roster crunch. You got to start moving on from some players, and I think that'll show how serious this front office is, honestly, because I think past front offices would not move on from players like this. And so I think, in my opinion, they should move on from Chad Stevens. I think they should move on from probably Brett Sullivan. And then I think, unfortunately, I do think Tyler Freeman stands out a little bit. And I think that he should be moved on from as well, in my opinion, to make room for these guys. So, and I think that's just how it is. And then the pitching side, who knows? Like, it's hard to move on from anyone because we just need arms. It's kind of hard to move on from anyone, but it is what it is. But does anyone have anything else on roster moves, stuff like that, or roster what we got to do?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, what we should do now.
Yeah. All right. Real quick roster move update. My glorious king Jordan Beck has finally made his return to the major league roster. I'm very, very happy. I really, really hope that he can find something again, because I want him on this team because he's still young. He still has a lot of talent in there. He's just got to cut down on those strikeouts a bit, and we'll see what he does. I think, honestly, I could see him and either Jake McCarthy or Mickey Moniak forming a platoon. I could very much see that's what he'll form into. That's what he's going to go to. And hopefully he'll be able to do well. And then another player that got called up is Nick Frasso, who the Rockies received in the Seth Halverson trade to the Dodgers. They were both recalled from AAA. Hopefully Nick Frasso, I believe you said that it'll be his major league debut when he eventually pitches. So
yeah,
good for him. Hopefully that'll happen, and that'll be really good. And hopefully what the Rockies front office saw in him, that it's worth it, because that dude has a lot of strikeout stuff. He's got some good strikeout stuff. He just walks a solid amount as well. So hopefully he could just keep developing and do well for the Rockies this year. So that's all I've got for roster moves. Not really that many today. And then minor league report. Let's real quick minor league report. Nothing too crazy other than just organizational players of the month, because for the month of July, the offensive player of the month was Rock Riggio. So that's a dub, because Rock Riggio was the second baseman that the Rockies traded for in the Ryan McMahon trade last year from the Yankees. So that's really cool. He hit 303, 465, 592 for a 1.067 OPS. So that was really cool. He had 5 doubles, a triple, 5 home runs, 11 RBI with 7 walks as well. So real good stuff for him, and especially in Hartford where it's harder to hit. So I think I've said this before. I kind of expect him to be fully in the mix next year for the second base role. I fully expect him to be in that race, and that'd be pretty cool to see. And so hopefully that'll work out for him. And then pitching wise, the Rockies pitcher of the month for the organization was Jack Mahoney. He went 4-0 with a 1.65 ERA. In 32 and 2/3 innings. He only allowed 6 earned runs, which is pretty good. He also had 28 strikeouts and a 1.07 WHIP. So he did his thing in Hartford, and really good stuff for the Yard Goats there. So you gotta love to see that. Also, quick note, real quick. Oh man, I forgot his name, but who they traded for with Seth Halverson. Who the Rockies traded Seth Halverson for. It was minor league player. Man, I forgot his name, and I feel real bad. He was a minor league outfielder that is going to be. Who was in Fresno, I believe. He's in a single A. He hit 2 home runs last night. One of them going 471 feet. So I feel really bad for not knowing the dude's name.
Landon Vidoric.
Yes, so really cool stuff. I saw that yesterday. I was like, oh my goodness, 471. So yeah, that guy's got a lot of power, and so hopefully he can figure out other stuff with it. So, but good stuff.
Right, yeah.
Good stuff with that. And then last but not least, we have the home run draft update. So 2 things with this. First off, Matthew, do you want to give the score of the home run draft?
Sure. Current score right now is Drew in 3rd place with 14, Matthew in 2nd place with 29, and Anthony in 1st place with 55.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now,
it's just,
with Brenton Doyle being traded, this is our first instance of somebody getting a player leaving one of the rosters. So Brenton Doyle will be leaving Drew's roster, and Drew will need to select a new player to be on his roster in his place. So
there's two tough choices here, but I got to go with Rake McCarthy.
okay.
sounds good. I expected that.
Okay.
And home runs he's had previously did not carry over to my score.
No.
By the way.
It is
His
as
score
of
is still at 14.
Yep. It is as of today is what the score is going to be. So
Yes. Oh my goodness.
but
Well, this is a little off topic, but we may be able to see Nick Frasso tonight because Michael Lorenzen has already given up 5 runs in an inning and a third. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll see him tonight. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, it was because Hunter Goodman had a. Never mind. Okay, sorry.
not a good throw. Funny stuff.
All right.
Funny stuff.
Fun stuff, yes.
But
Anywho,
but
all right.
I think that is all I got. We actually got through this pretty quick, honestly. I was expecting a lot more. I don't know. But I guess the first series we talked about was 2 games, so it really was not that long, and we kind of flew through that. But yeah, like I said, overall, I would mark this not a great deadline. But again, honestly, my thing is I just don't think that other teams saw a lot of value in McCarthy or Moniak. I truly do believe that there is a lot that is in their home road splits that people may not like, especially thinking about Moniak, Moniak, I think this year is pretty bad home road split wise. I'm checking really quick. Yeah, I mean he has a 986 at home, but a 690 OPS on the road. Like that's a pretty big discrepancy. I think McCarthy's not as bad, but it's still probably not super favorable. Yeah, he's a 721 on the road with a 910 at home, so like it's definitely not as drastic and different as Moniak's, but it is still there, and so I do think that could have played into it. And then also the fact that they're both average to below average fielders also probably did not help. But it is what it is. I know some people are the type of people that are like trade people to trade people, but I don't really know. It's kind of tough. I don't really know if I fall into that as much. It's like if you're going to get a good deal, do a good deal. And again, I think where the catching market was, I just never think that. I don't think Hunter Goodman was just going to get moved because of what Adley Rutschman, the former Orioles, now Red Sox catcher, went for. I just don't think that Hunter Goodman was going to get moved. The Rockies were maybe asking too much, but I think rightfully so because it was 3+ years of control for a home run, for a 40+ home run hitting catcher possibly. So it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do? All that matters is that the Rockies need to now make these tough moves with the roster and get these prospects up. That's what matters now. So hopefully they'll be able to do that. Hopefully they'll go through with it and everything will work out smoothly. But that, I think, is honestly all I've got. I don't know if I have much else. Does anyone else have anything for the good of the order?
Nope.
All right.
Michael Lorenzen sucks.
Yeah. I suppose he could get cut. I suppose get him off the roster. Probably get Quintana off the roster because that dude's just been hurt and he's not even been that good when he hasn't been hurt. So maybe just get him off the roster and have some young guys pitch. But who's going to pitch? I don't know.
I forgot he was even on our team.
I mean, he had that whatever it was and he's been gone for a while. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I've got. So thank you all so much for listening or watching. And as always, go Rockies, and we will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.